What's up, guys? Welcome to Unscripted Kitchen. Today we are going to be making some amazing butter cookies with these simple ingredients, and it takes no time at all. If you ever want to screenshot it, I will put the ingredients down below. Butter, flour, sugar, milk, and salt. That's all you're going to need. Just a couple basic, simple ingredients that anybody can make at home. So we'll go ahead and get started right with it. I'm going to be using a glass bowl to mix it in with a hand mixer. You could use a stand mixer if you prefer. I just think this is a little bit quicker and easier for me versus getting out the big bulky mixer for something that's not a really large amount of ingredients. We'll go ahead and just start off with our butter, which making sure it is not too hard. Otherwise, you'd be struggling with the mixer, so you don't want to wait that much time. Let's go ahead and get the butter in this glass bowl first. You can see it's a little bit soft there. Make life a lot easier. And the next ingredient that's going to go in there with this is going to be the sugar, which is going to be the powdered sugar or confectioner's sugar, 10 times sugar, whatever you'd like to call it, depending on where you're located. I'm just going to throw it right in, and this is about a half a cup. Following by that is going to be it for now. We're just going to leave that in just like that. So this part, we'll go ahead and start mixing it little by little just to kind of get it all combined. It's going to take about 2 minutes. Enough time to go ahead and get that in there. Creaming it up real good so it's well combined. And since this is such a small amount, you don't need that big mixer. You could already see it starting to come together already. Doing this with a stand mixer would be so much more work trying to get all this stuff nice together. And of course, in real time, a lot of people put a lot of fancy videos out there, snip, snip, snip. You only see the end result, and you might be mixing something in between. So I'm trying to do this little by little so you can see every little detail. Pretty good right there. All right, we're going to go ahead and say that that is good. Get any excess off of the beaters. We don't really need the beaters from this point on, so I'll go ahead and actually take them out. Get a little bit of extra off there. Now we'll go ahead and start using our dry ingredients, which is going to be the flour and the salt. And this is all-purpose flour. It is about 7 tablespoons, which is almost basically about 100 grams, depending on what measurement you prefer. Now we're just going to kind of do this all by hand, just a little by little. And at this point in time, we're also going to put the milk in. And you're really using the milk to kind of help get that consistency you're looking for. This should be something kind of pasty. This is not something that you want to be thick cookie dough. It should have a little bit of give to it. So the milk, just going to kind of do a little bit at a time, kind of mixing it all together. If you need to add a little more, you can. So I put about 2.5 tablespoons. Could be 3, could be 2, depending on if some of your measurements may be a little bit different. This is actually looking pretty good right here. Kind of almost has that kind of buttercream consistency. So at this point, I'm going to take this probably out of here. I'm going to put it into a pastry bag, and I'm going to put it in the fridge for maybe like half an hour to an hour. You could also put it in the freezer too if you'd like to get it done a little bit faster. So I'll pop this in this freezing bag. This piping bag, and put it in the freezer. I'm going to use this because this is actually how I'm going to pipe it out and put it directly onto parchment paper. and it's going to go in the oven 350 for about 10 minutes. So this way I can go ahead and just kind of pipe on my own design. You don't need to spray it. The butter in this recipe will do just fine on releasing from the parchment paper. So I'm going to go ahead and pop this in the freezer and I'll get right back to you. All right, guys, welcome back. I just pulled this out of the freezer and trying to see. It's a little bit firmer than I'd like it to be, but it's okay. It's going to sit. It's going to soften up faster than you think. So if it's too soft, when you start putting it on here, between the temperature of the oven and the consistency of the batter, it's either going to get too burnt or it's going to be flat. So you need to make sure it's a good consistency. That's why you preheat the oven 100% first to 350, and always make sure that this is in the fridge or freezer to get it just a little bit firmer up so it's not just room temperature. And again, parchment paper, you don't need anything on it. You can just put it directly on it. I'm probably just going to do little circles, or I might just do some little straight lines like eclair looking. You could make little pretzel shapes or S shapes. I guess pretty much whatever you'd like to do. This is just a basic tip. You know, if you want to do kind of more like a traditional smaller one, like a peanut or an eclair, you could make different designs, kind of put it in there like that. There really is no wrong answer to what you can make. I'm probably just going to stick with a lot of basic ones and just put them all in. See how many different ones you make. I'm making them as long as they're all about the same size in the thickness, because if you start making them too thick, then it's going to take some time to bake. All right, guys, I just took them out of the oven, off the sheet tray. They only take a few minutes actually to cool down. And then I sprinkled a little bit of granulated sugar over the top. To me, that kind of gives it that remembrance. You get those big crystals on top of the ones you would get in the can. That's kind of how I remember them. They taste pretty identical to me. And of course, like I said, all the shapes are just different depending on what tip you used and how you wanted to pipe them on there. I did a couple different varieties of circles and shapes and squigglies and whatever you'd like to do. You could wrap it up, put it in an airtight container. They'll stay fresh for at least a week, and that's about it. Hope you guys enjoyed.